Aloha and welcome to today's episodes of the Chiefs 9 podcast. I am Chief Master Sgt. Zandra Fox, your Command Chief Enlisted leader for the Hawaii National Guard.
And I'm Jeff Hickman, Director of Public Affairs for the State of Hawaii DoD. The State of Hawaii DoD has a brand new podcast called Nakoa Exchange, Boots, Wings, and More. You can see the lovely logo behind me. But this particular podcast is a part of a series called the Chiefs 9. And so this is the first series under that title. We've recorded several episodes covering topics like warrior ethos, leadership spectrum, resilience, and more. So please check out those past episodes. It's a 9-part series, and some of them are broken up into 2 or 3. So you'll see a lot of podcasts, and we release about every 2 to 3 weeks. You can check these out on different platforms. Please go see them. And again, they come out every couple weeks.
Yeah, and so our hope is that the units out there, the leaders that are interested in watching and listening to these episodes, share it with share this opportunity with those and to just basically talk about it using it as professional development. The opinions on these podcasts are not only ones out there, but if you have questions or any thoughts about our topics, please let us know on the platform you're listening to. You can comment and then we will be able to see them and provide you guys with some feedback.
And so those platforms are YouTube, Spotify, and Apple. On YouTube, we have audio and the regular YouTube. We record this video so you can watch it as well. So please like and subscribe.
Okay, today's topic is going to be a really good one. It's something that comes naturally to us, but it can be very challenging. So today we're going to talk about managing time and priorities, Spouse Edition. So I have with me today my co-host, Jeff Hickman, which he introduced himself at the beginning, and our 2 guests to discuss today's topic, the dynamic duo who's actually married also, the Morse Ohana, Senior Master Sgt. Noah and Joleen Morse. So welcome. Thank you so much for being here today. So we'd like to first start. If you guys tell us a little bit about yourself and your Guard story.
Yeah, hi. I'm Senior Master Sgt. Noah Morse. I'm married to my wife Joleen here. We have 3 daughters. I joined the Guard in 2001, May of 2001, and have kind of bounced all over, progressed through my career within the 203rd, the 203rd ARS, the Refueling Squadron with the KC-135s. I've done some time with the 154th OSS. I've done some time in 154th OG, as well as some time with PAC Headquarters PACAF A58. So I've been all over, done a lot of stuff with my Guard career, traveled a lot just due to my position as a boom operator. Enjoy what I do, and it's been a great, I think it's 23 years now. It's been a pretty good run. Look forward to continuing on a little bit more and hopefully make an E9 someday and just keep pushing through.
Okay, my name is Joleen, Senior Master Sgt. Joleen Morse, and yes, married to my husband, or we've been together for about 18 years, going on 19 soon here in November. I started my Guard career a month after Noah in 2001. I started off in the 154th Medical Group, and now I'm currently in the 204th Airlift Squadron as the operations superintendent.
Do you have a fun fact?
Yeah, fun fact is we, both me and my husband like to grow fruits in our yard. So we have a variety of fruits. I think we have about 12 different types of fruits. And, every time we see our hard work come to fruition, it's really, really exciting. Our kids get involved. My mom and dad really like to see our fruits as well. So we provide fruits for our neighbors and our family.
What are some of the fruits that you guys grow?
We have right now dragon fruit, sour sap, bananas. Bananas are a struggle. I think we're finally got some dragon fruit ripening. We have some other citrus fruit. I don't know, what is it, jabong or something?
Yeah, a jabong.
Like a jabong. And we got the papayas are starting to ripen. Some other citrus, I think they're lime. Some of them were there when we bought the place, and so we're just kind of watering, and it's like a guessing game to see what pops up. But the main ones we finally got going on are the dragon fruits are ripening, the sour sap. Papayas are doing well, and we're just really working on the bananas right now. It would be nice to get those going.
Yeah, definitely. Well, thank you again for being here. So the topic today is time management and prioritization. And so is time management something that you think can be taught to someone?
To a certain extent, I think, because it's going to differ from person to person. Like I was thinking about it earlier, my time management as a senior airman coming into the squadron with no kids, no wife, nothing going on, pretty much do whatever I want, right? So it's a lot easier to manage your time, I think, when you have less stuff going on, when you're younger coming in. Obviously, everyone's got different things going on. But to a certain extent, I believe like there's certain little things you can do that are taught that can help you with time management. It's gotten a lot rougher to manage time throughout the years. Obviously, the more stuff you get on your plate, the harder it is to manage it. So then you get married, and now there's that aspect of it. Then you have one kid. Okay, now there's then two, three, and so you have to kind of adapt to it as you go. I don't think there's any one way to teach time management. I think it's just you kind of sort of have to adapt to your situation.
Yes, and so time management, I guess you learn over time, just like he said. With us, we had to work with our flying schedule, so we ended up through trial and error. Now we're on the Apple Calendar. That's how we sync up our appointments, our kids' appointments, our flying schedules, family vacations or family trips, like big important things in both of our immediate families. So that's how we learned. So through time, and so giving advice to younger airmen, it is communication. Communication is the key to success.
Yeah, I think that's what we found. What works best so far is that Apple Calendar and having it synced up with everyone. Have everything in there so that, like, if I want to do something or I have something coming up, I can just look on the date and it'll say, Jolene's TDY or Allie's got a doctor's appointment or something. So, I mean, if you have it all in there, it's easy to, like, and you're trying to schedule something in the future, you see it, oh, okay, I can't do it. So that's the best process we found so far.
That's a really good tool. Do you guys color code also, depending on your different family?
No, I don't think that. Does it allow us to color code? I don't think we don't color
I don't
code.
think we dig too deep into
Yeah,
that.
you just put it on there. Put it on there.
Yeah.
That's good.
It still takes a lot of discipline, though, because you have to input
Yeah.
everything.
Yes.
And
And
you
so-
put the reminders in and all that kind of stuff too. So
So we try to do it immediately because we kind of have this game as whoever's TDY is in there first is the TDY that wins.
that's the tiebreaker.
yeah.
That's a
Okay.
tiebreaker, but if there is a higher priority mission, then we do have to talk about it, and then we build our schedules around it.
Okay. Well, so they have a difficult one. They got two different units.
A flying unit.
Higher rank and fly. And so for you, Chief, how about you? What about is time management something that can be taught? And how is it for you?
You just got to communicate. Like you said, be transparent with the support that you need. So my husband, fortunately, is retired. So he's stay-at-home dad. So it helps tremendously because my schedule becomes sort of the priority when it comes to work. But he has always the kids stuff, which I miss out on, because with the military job, you go where they tell you. But we do the same. We have an Apple Calendar also, and we'll share our calendars. And I'll tell him too, like, hey, I put this on the calendar. So then we go like kind of do like a calendar sync weekly. So like on Sundays, I'll go, this is what we have, this is what I have, especially if I'm going to be gone. And we just tag team, even with kids' announcements, like on their apps, like, hey, you have to bring juice boxes today, for example. We talk about it, who's going to pick that stuff up. So it's just constant communication.
I'm a little bit old school. We have a calendar in the bathroom on the wall, and we write stuff up there, me and my wife, to kind of remind, take our daughter to the airport. She's flying back to college. It's this day, don't forget. Doctor's appointments go on there. But you guys are taking full advantage. So do you use the technology where it comes into your watch, phone, and your computers?
Yeah, I know I have mine. So I have the Apple Watch. So like it'll pop up and it'll give me the reminders. So it's a little extra bonus. But I know it helps out a lot. Like I'll just be doing something. I can get caught up just in my own world doing something. And then I'll be like, boom, like, oh, I got this coming up in 20 minutes or something I totally forgot about. And so it helps me kind of regroup and go do what I got to do instead of just kind of totally forgetting it.
Yeah. It was even not a challenge, but it was very complex to get you both here at the same time to do this today. So yeah, thanks for being here.
Yes. With our flying schedules, our kids usually only have one parent home at each time. So we even have to communicate with teachers. So when teachers text now, or we can communicate through apps for all of our children's schools. So they know to text both of us or email both at the same time because one parent will definitely be there.
Yeah.
Oh, so technology really helps
Yeah,
out.
it's a great team dynamic there. So our next question is, what is time management and prioritizing important? And is one more important than the other? when it comes to time management or prioritizing, or is it the same in your guys' eyes?
I think they work alongside each other. You have to set your priorities, kind of set your time management, right? You rank things in order that is most important to you or your mission or your family, and you manage your time accordingly. So as I got older, I do, always emphasize time is my currency, right? So if I spend some time with you, then I care about you, or I care about what is going on. I'm sorry, I'm getting so emotional, but I did do a speech in front of my leadership about time. Yeah,
Yes.
because you don't know how short time you have.
Yeah, time is valuable.
We were just talking about as far as prioritizing and timing, and so we were thinking about how we prioritize with what we should put more emphasis into the time wise, and we were thinking about it earlier, and it was like, usually kids first, so we put more prioritization on time with them, and then the rest of our family, and then work. And so we were talking about it as like, if we're lacking anywhere, possibly it could be with our time, prioritizing our time together, which usually most of it nowadays is basically out watering the yard, doing the fruit stuff. Try to squeeze in a date night here and there, but we literally, like, it's kind of like we just, like, was a bubble popped in our head, like, oh man, I guess we sort of prioritize everything else more than us. So I guess it's picking and choosing what you feel you should prioritize more time with, and it's going to be probably different for everyone.
I would agree with that. The whole marriage thing, right? Because we're focused on kids, focused on work, and so I think it's important that it's good that you're aware, so you guys can talk about that together. On, hey, I need more time with you.
Yeah.
Okay.
I know we have really good leadership or friendships in both of our squadrons, our Pueo and Hokuo Hanas. But so sometimes I do tend to prioritize work if there's like super important. I'm like the resource advisor, the operations soup. What you call? I'm the mother of the squadron, right? And so sometimes that's like the biggest part because you have to support everybody else. So sometimes I do have worse. I'm bad at it, or I prioritize work, and he always got the home mostly. So I gotta readjust sometimes.
You guys have more challenges than a normal couple. You're not only just in the military together, but
Yeah.
In order to get time for yourselves, which is a challenge for normal couples, you guys have a lot of obstacles in your way. So it's good to hear that that bubble did go off, and you could visually see that you did not have time together. And time is valuable. It's you can't get it back. It's a great currency to have. So being emotional about it is all good. So you're totally fine. It's very important. And we feel so this counts as date night then, right? This is time you're spending together, and that's great. When people are giving interviews and they're looking for new employees, one of the questions that always comes up in those interviews are, how are you at time management, and how do you explain how to do it? Is that something you guys look for in superiors or peers that you work with? Is that a skill that you treasure or value in the workplace?
Yeah, I think it's you need to have at least like a basics of time management, right? I mean, you need to be able to make meetings on time. You need to be able to be where you're supposed to be when you're supposed to be there for training, and whether it's stuff for your TDYs, or even like show times, right? Every time we're going to leave for a trip, or a flight, you always have a show time. So you need to prioritize and make sure that you're working your time so that you're there on time to be there as scheduled. So I think it's important. And also understanding that, people have stuff that come up. So maybe a little bit of understanding as far as, hey, maybe someone showed up a little late. Hey, sorry, my car, broke down, or I had to get my daughter to so-and-so and I made it in, and just, some understanding, but also for the most part, knowing that, hey, if you have somewhere to be at a certain time or things that need to be done by a certain time, then yeah, you do have to manage your time wisely.
That's a good point. Being senior master sergeants, and you've been in for a while, 20-something years, is you have that understanding. So if somebody does make a mistake, you can kind of, what happened, you back up. Because if you're a young leader and somebody's late, you know how you'd react. It's a quick. So that's good that you guys have the seasonedness to understand and then ask that question. Does that work also for between you guys?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, between us, there's probably we've dropped the ball here and there. I think just with the timing or just getting so caught up with stuff that I mean, we'll miss something. I know one of them is like we were confused on who was going to pick up our youngest from school, and so her after school care was over, and I'm like, and she called and like, hey, who's picking me up? We're like, oh no, so we had to like scramble to go get her, and then one was we didn't realize our middle daughter didn't have school one day, and so we had thought she was going to go out, and then she wasn't on the bus, and so she's special needs, so we can't just let anybody like watch her. So one of us were like, okay, well, someone's got to take leave today and stay home with her. So it gets to be a lot, and we're human, and we're gonna miss stuff too. So, but we just do our best.
Yes. I don't know. With time, you learn that leaders. I think the best leaders are the ones that do this kind of trial and error thing, because they can understand when people go is on a downtrend or uptrend. So, yeah,
Like lead by experience, right?
lead by
Like,
experience.
you get the
right?
experience so you can share and understand, put yourself in their shoes
Yes.
when they're like struggling. You're like, look, it's happened. Just let us know what you need, right? That's all we
Yes.
ask for as supervisors.
How about you, Chief? When do you look for time management as one of the skills you look for in peers or other leaders?
I feel like it's assumed, right? Like we all have that. I mean, it kind of just comes with your job, but hopefully we can help those, give them the tools and resources needed to help figure out what that time management looks like for them. Whether we do the paper calendar or like the Outlook calendar or whatever. So, yeah, it's a skill set that I think every day is different. Like I feel like sometimes I have good time management, some days I don't feel like I have it at all. So it just kind of goes, up and down, like she said, downtrend, uptrend,
No, but
So,
that's right. You look for that because that means they have the experience. The experience failing, the experiencing messing up. They're human too. Yeah, it's kind of nice seeing a leader mess up. It's like, okay, they're not perfect. That really helps. As far as prioritizing, you guys said you look through the list and then you prioritize. But is there something that you guys do in your career where you prioritize? Is it schools? Is it physical fitness? Is it mental training? What are some of your priorities that has helped you stay in the Air National Guard for so long?
Yeah, I think it's a lot of that, the physical fitness aspect of it. I know there's always been a push to be fit and stay fit, and as you get older, it starts to be harder and harder. But you try to stay engaged in it, as well as the school. Like we're constantly being told, PME, right, professional military education stuff. That if you aspire to be promoted, you're going to need to do all these different schools and courses in order to be eligible to promote. I know one of the hardest things I had to do was I didn't do real well in high school, and struggled try to go to college a few times, but to make E8 they had changed it to where now you needed your CCF, basically like an associate's degree. They'll give you some of your credits from whatever training you did, but you had to go do the core classes. So I had to go in there, and most of it wasn't too hard, but the math was kind of a struggle for me. But like I had to fought. She helped me out a lot. So yeah, the school part of it and continuing to learn. There's a big push right now for continuing education, even as a E8, E9s. There's courses they continue to help build leaders, and so it's a continual learning. Schools, maybe not necessarily like college, but like professional military education stuff that's consistent, as well as physical fitness. So yeah, if you want to stay in for a long time and aspire to make rank and promote, there's a lot you got to kind of keep up with.
Yeah, I feel the same way. Embrace learning new things and techniques. Or, our job is changing all the time. There's always new ideas that come to mind, and then we're always adapting to the new airmen that come in. But I do, to have a long career, you also, both of us feel the same way. Our people, getting to know our guys is what I like to do. So I'm really, Niele, you could say. But I know like everyone in his squadron and my squadron, and I always want to know everything about everybody. So I kind of, I value people. And I think that can make your career go up.
yeah, absolutely. Building that community, right, of just like-minded people. And yeah, every day is a struggle. Like, what is your non-negotiables, right? Fitness. And PME is voluntary. Like you said, if you don't do your PME, you can't get promoted. But it's just part of the thing you have to check off at some point. So hopefully you make time to do that when it's important, you know. So yeah, I think that's great advice that you have.
Is there a priority or a time management thing that you guys do, civilian side, that helps? Like for fruit, growing the fruit, the timing, getting there before the bugs. You said kind of the pre-interview that you got to get there. So, is there anything you've learned from not just gardening that's kind of help apply toward anything else, or something you do at home that you've done at work, or something at work that now you use at home?
Oh, we just talked about it. So we don't put any pesticides in our garden, right? So we have bugs. We have like a bug that wants some of our dragon fruit, but through like learning on YouTube and through other farmers like in our neighborhood, if bugs are on your fruit, then your fruit is good, right? If they're not, then you don't have a good fruit. So instead of putting a pesticide on it, just if there's a bug that gets to it earlier, just cut that portion off. So our last dragon fruit was perfect, but the one before that, half of it was eaten by birds. So we have a lot of pretty birds in our yard. So we just chopped half and ate the good half. So not everything is wasted because one little thing ruined the part of it, because the fruit is still.
Yeah, I think the main thing, whether it's military, civilian, the prioritizing like your time is going to be different for everyone. You got to look at what you got going on in your life and what you find that you feel is more important, and then you decide from there how you're going to manage your time. But it's going to be different for everyone. I've seen it, and I know people value different things. So it's really just going to be, you got to look into what you feel like you want to prioritize, whether it's civilian or military, and then you make the moves to make that happen.
Yeah, just do it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you want that, that's important to you, then
you make
then
time
you do
for
it. You got to make it happen.
Yeah. So we're going to wrap up with our last question. And so what advice do you have for our listeners out there on this topic of time management priorities, spouse edition, think about family dynamics, maybe something in the military civilian side? What would you tell our folks out there?
I would say communication. Communication is key. Communication, you hear it all the time with spouses, but also with your leadership, whether it's enlisted or your officers, your commanders. If they don't know what you're going through, they can't help you, right? So communicate with your spouse. Hey, I'm struggling today. I'm tired. I didn't get good sleep. Can you maybe do this for me because I'm not working? Communicate with your leaders and let them know, hey, here's what I have in my family dynamics. And these are some struggles I'm going through. So I may need a little bit of your help or a little bit of leeway on your part to maybe give me let me come in a little later because I got this going on. Let me leave a little earlier because I have that going on. But I would say number one to anyone is just communicate. Just communicate to whoever it is. And don't be afraid if you're an airman going to talk to your lieutenant colonel, your commander, or your chief. I promise you through my career, I've never had a problem talking to or having a chief or a commander that couldn't sit there and talk to me and listen to my problems and work with me. It wasn't scary. It was, they want to help, but they can't help you if they don't know.
Yeah, I think that we are lucky in our squadrons because we kind of work with each other for 20 years. So everybody around us already know our situation, and we know everyone else's situation. So communication is number one. If there is a problem, we always got to remember, we always have to talk about if there is a problem, then we both have to tackle the problem, not each other, right? So that's a hard one sometimes, but with work or in work or at home, we always have to just remember that we tackle the problem and not each other.
That's good.
Yes.
And also shout out to the 203rd and 204th leadership in your units for the support that they give you to help you get to where you're at today.
Yeah.
So thank you for sharing.
Thank you so much. Yeah. Do you have any advice you'd like to give about time management? I mean, you're retired.
That is,
but you're still working.
I let people know that that's my weak point is organization and time management. And so I hire people and I work with people where that's their strength so they can help me. And I try to use every tool, like you said. I use the written calendar. I have the calendar on my phone as well and my computer, but it's a constant challenge for me. So it's a big thing. And when I go through the hiring process and their first week in the office, I remind them again, yeah, I hired you because you fill a need that so anytime you see or we have a big calendar on the wall, please, help me get to a certain point so I get to the normal or average for time management and prioritization, because it's hard for us it doesn't come naturally. It sounds like you guys really gelled together and you're lifting up, and so you're advanced in that area. So that's great. But the prioritizing, the communication, the units supporting you guys.
Yeah, makes it a little bit easier to do.
Great story.
Well, I'm glad that you're transparent about that being your weak point, because I do have to follow up with you sometimes.
Yes,
yeah,
you do.
But that's
yes.
okay.
Thank you, Chief.
We make it work.
Thank
we
you
make
for
it work.
doing it.
Oh, another thing that does help is honest feedback, like towards each other, to keep each other honest. Like, especially with time management, you can just say like, hey, you're really, like, if we can come home and kind of, unbox everything that happened at work, and then we can give each other feedback like, hey, maybe you should have done it this way, or maybe you're not managing your time correctly. So honest feedback with your leaders,
That's
with
a good
your
tool.
peers.
Yeah.
And, that's something I learned recently. Like, honest feedback will help everybody.
Yep.
It helps the person you're giving the feedback to. The person that is giving the feedback is probably having the harder job right now, but at the end, everybody wins, right?
And that actually is a weakness of a lot of people. And so that's my strength, is awkward conversations, is I can have that. I was 27 years in the Army Guard. I was a commander, and you had to have conversations with your soldiers about suicide and asking them eye to eye, how do you feel today? Yeah. How did you think about suicide in the last 30 days? And it was awkward at first. And it was a hard conversation, but after time, I had more confidence, and then the soldiers had more confidence. So that awkward conversation, or the feeling that young airmen can't go, you can. Mm-hmm. So please do. And that was great advice, and that's another good piece. Thank you for sharing that. Yep.
Okay. I know we can pause, so thank you, Joleen and Noah, for being here today on our podcast, the Chiefs 9. Mahalo for discussing managing time and priorities, the spouse edition, and sharing your personal challenges with the topics as a married couple in the Hawaii Air National Guard, in 2 units, in flying units. So thank you for that. Mahalo to my co-host, Jeff, for always having my back, and to Andy, the guy behind the cameras. He's going to do all the music, too. So I'm Chief Fox. Thank you for joining us on our 5th episode of the Chiefs 9 series. Until next time, aloha. Bonus content.
All right. We are lucky. We have some topics that we talked about in the pre-interview that we wanted to share and get out. And so we have bonus content for you guys today. So is it a fact or fiction that you are the shortest person probably in the Air Force Air Guard?
Oh, that is very fact. To be an aircrew member, you have to be 5 feet 4 inches. And in 2005, I got a waiver to fly, and then they stopped the waiver process for all flyers. And just recently, through COVID, our Command Chief Uchimura started this new initiative to find out the results of the height stature in the Air Force. And he was at NGB at that time. So he pushed the initiative and we got $2 million of funding to restudy this. And then now they're going through the next few years. They're rediscovering that you can fly in different aircraft at all different heights. And I was the hidden gem because nobody knew that there was a 5 feet Loadmaster, in the C-17. But my aircraft is super user friendly because it's new, so everything is easy to move. And I can climb on the catwalks and jump up and do everything just as same as a 6-foot person.
So how tall are you?
I'm 5 feet.
You're 5 feet, yeah. So 4 inches difference. That's good that they're doing a study to see if that even affects.
So they used her too. They actually did, the study was out, they had her go out there and physically do these things that they're saying that if you're too short, you can't do. And so she went and proved them wrong. Like, here's how I do it. I can do it.
Way to go.
Great study, yeah.
Because that just provides more inclusivity,
It's a lot more opportunity for people who didn't think they could do it.
They could do it because they're short.
Yep.
So that's awesome.
A short male and female, right? Height, regardless. So, shoot.
Yeah.
Okay. And then you also mentioned that recently you won an award?
Well, in 2018, we won a award from, it was the PACF commander, General Brown, General Charlie Brown. And he gave one award to a Army National Guard family, Air National Guard family, and Army, Marines, and Navy.
It was actually Auntie Lorna Souza who put us in for the award, and so she put us in knowing that, similar back, I think we were lower ranking, but still had the kids and the military, and I was deploying a lot back then. That's when we had a standing deployment to go to Qatar, and so it was constantly, and it was just a lot. And she saw that we were like working through that, and just she put us in for that, and it was like, so I went up and they gave me the award stuff, but it was crazy because they gave us a basket full of things, and it was like $1,000 or $1,500 to Aulani Hotel and all these gift certificates to go do all this stuff with the family and all this. So it was crazy, but it was kind of random. It was like a YMC or YWC. It was something in coordination with them. But I wanted to thank Auntie Lorna for putting that. She submitted it for us. It came out of nowhere, and we're like, oh, okay. And
She's recently retiring
Yeah.
too. So shout out to the Safe Family programs. Everybody knows Auntie Lorna. I was in the Army Guard, and I knew Auntie Lorna. Great at organization and taking care of all the families, spouses of airmen in the Hawaii Air National Guard for years. So
Auntie will be missed.
Oh,
so
definitely.
Good luck to you, and congratulations on your retirement.
Yes, enjoy.
And hopefully you can enjoy and take a break for yourself. So,
have you had any height issues or restrictions? in your
yeah.
career?
So my previous command team, General Harris, I feel like he's 6 foot tall. And then General Sills, right? So when we would be walking together, I would have to make sure that I'm not in elbow reach when they do their salute, because I've almost been taken out. They don't probably know this, so I'm sharing this now.
Now they will.
But I'd have to just make sure, like when they're saluting, I'm like kind of out the way. Yeah, because I've been almost elbowed quite a few times, and I think one time I was left in the back seat of the van. I guess they just didn't see me there. And so I'm like, hey, and they shut the door on me, and I'm like, hey, I'm still in here. And so, but yeah, I'm just kidding, General.
Do you want to talk about it more?
I'm okay.
Good.
Maybe
good.
that's not a height challenge, but more so like, yeah, I don't know. But it's all right. It's all right, General Sills. I forgive you.
Right. Well, thank you for that. That's a great bonus section that we just completed there.
Yes.
All right, you want to give the outro?
Bonus content.